Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome to Get Much Higher Podcast. I'm Alex Robinson.
I'm Brandon Budgeon.
And today we've got a bit of a different setup. This is the setup we use every day in the school at Banners Radio here. And we've got the camera set up behind us. And today we're doing another album review. And this one, I'm going to spoil it a little bit. I'm not too happy with this one.
The title says it all. This unruly mess I've made really is a little bit of a mess.
The title, before we get into the track by track, which we're getting back into, let's talk about the title for a bit. And in my opinion, this album has a lot of potential. The unruly mess I made.
The concept, yes.
Yeah, the concept of his rise to fame being a mess. You know, he was the heights dropped, and that was when he first made that switch from being a YouTube rapper to being a mainstream rapper. And that was a mess. He won album of the year. He didn't really deserve to. A lot of controversy there because obviously he's white, and well, not just him being white. There's a lot of things.
The album,
I see that's the main thing.
It beat Good Kid, Mad City, which was the album of the year.
Yeah.
If you're looking at hip hop albums that had an impact in 2012, I think it was.
Yeah.
And then Macklemore had a huge commercial success at that time. Did it completely independent. You know, and you got to say, if somebody makes it that big independently, doesn't matter what kind of brand of music that they're making, the fact that they're being heard and played on the radio and they're getting radio spins as much as Macklemore was getting at that time, it's got to say something. And he's got something, in my opinion, to brag about there.
Yeah.
And then to sort of come on this album and come at the angle that I'm a completely apologetic, whether he means that literally or more kind of sarcastically, it sounds like at some points in this album. But whether you look at it that way or not, I mean, he's still coming at it with this idea of this unruly mess I've made. I think you should come out guns blazing.
Yeah, I guess that would be more like hip-hop-esque, right? Like, one thing about this album, we're saying, is that it doesn't really feel hip-hoppy. It's pop music left and right, and then we get a few songs that are like, oh, this is rap, this is dope, and this is good rap. Like, there are a few decent, good songs on here.
It had its moments, absolutely.
Yeah, but for the most part, this is just pop music.
Yeah, this is a decent, average, mediocre pop album.
Yeah, and after the heist, the heist was pretty good. Like, it wasn't like your classic hip-hop album. It was a Macklemore hip-hop album. And like that kind of started its own lane, and that was an okay lane.
He has Schoolboy Q on the album.
Yeah, like that was good. I mean, he has KRS One.
White Walls was pretty dope.
Yeah, that was actually.
That was pretty dope. That was some lowrider shit. But
yeah.
Should we get into this track by track, bro?
I'm not. You want to start it off for us?
Yeah, number one. This is a song called Light Tunnels, and I can't remember if this was featuring anyone. I don't think so. But there was another voice there on the hook. It's basically a song about his issues and sort of struggles and complexes he has going through life as a celebrity.
Yeah. And
again, like you mentioned, it's an album about him being a little apologetic for being famous or making it and winning awards. I felt like personally this song, the beat was okay.
Top 5 songs in the album off the bat.
Okay, and that's not saying much.
No, it's something.
Yeah, the beat was okay.
Well, they got that a pretty cool violin instrumental, which I think I love violins in hip hop beats personally, and I thought that was a really cool touch.
It was very poppy for me. Cheesy, watered down. These are notes that I took. Too long for the intro song. I thought the song needed to be a little bit shorter to sort of smoothly transition into the next song and the rest of the album. I felt like he was beating around the bush. Sorry. I just wanted to say that. I felt like he was beating around the bush in this song.
That was one point I was actually going to mention. He wasn't getting to the point, and it felt like he had a lot to say, and he could have said it a lot more directly.
He could have been, exactly, more direct, a little more aggressive, a little more controversial, without being harsh or being any of those things that he doesn't want to be, to alienate his, younger fans or his more positive music liking fans, like the fans that are younger, like he mentioned, and maybe their parents and things like that. You know what I mean? He wouldn't have alienated them by doing those things, but I felt like he was trying to be watered down to cater to his audience, and it just felt like the song sucked.
Yeah. 2 things I want to say about this song. First of all, his lyricism is pretty good. He's talking about some real shit, whether or not we think it's cheesy or watered down. It's still some real shit, some deep shit. But I think the best part of this song that I could take away from it is that it is a longer song, especially for an introduction to an album, like you said, but the progression is phenomenal. Whether it's the instrumental, like the instruments that are in the instrumental, whether it's his flow while he's rapping, the subject matter, everything throughout the song is constantly changing, and then throughout the outro we get a really dramatic outro to the song to start off the rest of the album. No, and I really like that.
I do agree with you, like, I guess, like, structurally there is a lot to appreciate there. Mm-hmm. But I mean, as far as like it being a good song or anything like that, and even the subject matter, I don't think it is like he wasn't getting to the point. He wasn't being direct. You know, the subject matter there is a subject matter, there is a topic, but just because absolutely, a lot of songs on this album suck. Yeah. But just because he has a topic doesn't mean that that topic is a good one to talk about, or that he talked about it very well. Yeah. I admit he does have a subject matter on this song, and some of the songs he doesn't. But it's not that it was necessarily well done or anything like that. I felt like he needed to dive in more and be less watered down and sound a little different than everything else on the radio. Yeah. It seems like everybody's like a singer rapper right now, with like pianos on every song. And
and that's something I should also mention before I kind of start off the next song.
Yeah, please.
But one thing, there is a piano on every single song on this album, and I think the key changes once. But other than that, it's like the same thing.
Yeah.
Okay, next one. This is gonna be a nice, quick, easy one for me before you get to check number 3. Check number 2, Downtown. What the fuck is this? This is like this isn't even almost hip hop. It's like this is my least favorite song to drop in hip hop in the past year easily.
That's a pretty strong statement.
I don't like this song at all. From the second I heard it the first time weeks ago, I could not stand this song.
I mean, like, for what it is, it's a lead single kind of song.
It was trying to be Thrift Shop, and it wasn't Thrift Shop. Thrift Shop was dope when it dropped.
I feel like it's Thrift Shop Part 2, and it's like you got your clothes, now you're going downtown.
I think that's the concept. But it isn't the same type of song. It isn't the same feel.
But it is super vibey, and you have to give it that. And it had.
And that's because it's a pop song. Pop songs are structured and built to be.
Absolutely, 100%. I agree with you, and I do think it's a pop album. You know, it's a lot closer to a pop album than what's on the radio than anything else that came out this year in hip hop. You know what I mean? Yeah. But it is vibey, and it does have a cool instrumental sound to it, like the instruments in this. Whatever.
There are a lot of instruments.
Yeah, it was cool for what it was, but very poppy and very like, who cares? Like, it's not something I would actually choose to listen to.
Yeah.
Brad Pitt's Cousin.
Track number 3.
Track number 3. Brad Pitt's Cousin. I'm not talking about his cousin. That's the name of the song. It's a great workout song. It's a great song to really just shut your brain off and not pay attention to what you're listening to, and just enjoy the small noises and the nuances and the noises, I guess. It's a very silly song. Yeah,
but it's not. I feel like this is the type of silly that he didn't overdo. I thought this was like an appreciable silly.
I did not appreciate the silliness. No, I thought it was silly to the point. It wasn't even goofy. You're goofy.
I think
it was just bad.
What I wrote here is that verse 2 was appreciable, mostly just because I loved my nickname Ron.
I was just gonna say that.
And other than verse 2 on the song, I did not like the rest of it. But verse 2 for me keeps it alive.
I felt like this song was really nothing original.
Yeah, it's not original at all. Not a good song, still just a pop song, but I really like that line, so I'm not going to criticize it.
And not that all pop is bad. I mean, there's some pop out there that I think is pretty okay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, pop, we like to throw that around often and make it sound like that's like a diss or something that's really bad to be pop.
Yeah, we're just claiming this is not the genre. Right?
Yeah, this is not the right genre. And, I felt like it was really nothing to take home there. Besides that my nickname, Ron Burgundy. And even that I thought was just silly to the point it was dumb.
Yeah, I definitely tweeted that the second I heard it.
Yeah, I guarantee you did. You're 18, that's
I will show you. I can't show you because we might get like a ban or something.
Oh, yeah.
I'd love to.
Can we move on?
Okay.
This is one of the better tracks.
Track number, I completely thought it was me. Yeah, track number 4, Buckshot, featuring KRS-One, DJ Premier. First thing you said when I said that to you, when you were like, yo, what track is this? And I was like, blah, 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 blah. And you were like, whoa, he's featured, man. And I was like, yeah. like get ready for this.
They caught my ear for sure.
Before, actually no, I'm not even gonna say before. The beat was pretty good. I think the first verse, Macklemore killed it. Not killed it. I think for this album, Macklemore
Suitable.
killed it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I did not like the hook until the beat dropped, and then when the hook was there with the beat behind it, I actually liked the hook quite a bit. But the best part of this song was KRS-One.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it was a killer beat. I really liked the beat. It was different than what the rest of the album sounded like. It sounded like a real 90s hip-hop song. It sounded like actual rap for a second there, which the rest of the album doesn't really come across that way at all. But besides, how it sounded, I thought KRS-One did what he always does. He kills it.
Mm-hmm.
He always has dope verses, and I expected that. Macklemore, nothing really caught my ear when it came to his lyrics or anything that he was dropping on his verses. I just felt like it was super cliche and just average old Macklemore, to be honest with you. But it's a feel-good song, but it did have more of a harder tone, and you get that because of the DJ Premier beat.
Yeah.
You have that hard hip-hop kind of
undertone. Yeah, the first thing I wrote here was dope beat, and like that, and I always talk about progression, but that's just because like progression in a track means a lot to me, and this is another really good example of a song that the beat especially is constantly changing. We have that same synthesis. I'm going to say synth because I can't say the word. We have that same synth throughout the entirety of the song, but other than that, the rest of it is constantly evolving and adapting and changing to.
And even that is going up and down in levels.
And I like
it's changing. It's causing
that's
causing you to actually pay attention. Number 5, Growing Up, featuring
Ed Sheeran.
Ed Sheeran. Shit.
So before you get into this, I just want to say the only thing I liked here was the hook, and even that hook obviously wasn't hip hop. I just like Ed Sheeran sounds cool, and that's all I have to say about this song.
I don't particularly like Ed Sheeran's genre of music, not to take away from his talent. It's just the type of music he makes doesn't necessarily resonate with me.
Yeah, me neither.
And this is another example of that. Growing Up was it was meant to be like one of those soft, meaningful, touching kind of songs about you growing up, and I didn't get any of that. I just felt like it was still watered down. If you take such a personal concept about your upbringing, and it still sounds watered down, you're completely missing the point of making this album. And
I think one of the biggest mistakes he made here was often on songs like this where you really want to hit home, you really want to like get deep into the listener, whatever with the subject matter. For example, let's look at Spacebound, but no, not Spacebound. Haley's song by Eminem. Super deep song, super meaningful song, great song, right? Like you remember how it sounds.
Absolutely, yeah.
But and he sings on it. He starts off the song by saying, "I don't know how to sing, but I'm gonna sing."
Yeah.
And like just the fact that somebody who doesn't know how to sing is singing, and the entire song is just that
honesty, that
genuine, and that genuine honesty adds so much more to a song.
Totally. It adds real emotion to it, and it felt like this is something that maybe started off as really emotional and an emotional idea about your upbringing. But I think he was just like, okay, how can we make this like the dopest pop song we can?
Oh, we'll get Ed Sheeran on here, and I won't do the hook.
Let's get Ed Sheeran's producer to do this. So I'm sure it wasn't even his own producer, and it sounded more like something they wanted to sound good rather than use that concept for what it actually was. And it was just like, a real meaningful, growing up kind of song where you're actually relating to your audience. And I didn't get any of that on this song. Let's move on.
Next one, this is my second favorite song on the album. I understand that you didn't like this one, but this hits home personally. This is Kevin featuring Leon Bridges. When I wrote this, I just wrote best song so far. But this is some real shit. And whether or not this is a pop song or a hip hop song, I don't know. I think people that have dealt with this, I can be an example. My friends can be an example. This is fucking. This is a great song. I think.
Well, tell them what the song's about.
I didn't even talk. I just got super into what I was reading instead of thinking. It's about addiction, drug addiction, cigarette addiction, alcoholism, over prescription on medication, and just the way our world relies on that type of thing. Like you go to You go to a fucking not a psychiatric ward. What the fuck? Where do you go when you're sad?
Like a psychiatrist?
Go to a psychiatrist and you're sad and he gives you pills.
Yeah.
Like we're over medicated.
We are. And it is a very important topic right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like throughout this album, he does talk about a lot of social issues, and in America, in Canada, this is a big social issue. And you talk about you've known people who have had addiction problems and whatnot, and I have too. And I think a lot of people our age do know someone, or have some sort of relationship with somebody in our family or friends that have sort of struggled with alcohol or some sort of pill or anything like that. But I just felt like with this song, it was like, it was a really interesting topic and really interesting for him to talk about. But I felt like, again, he was holding back. He was pulling back.
Yeah.
For his audience, and it was just like,
yeah, I think
I didn't care much for that, and I just felt like it was missing that extra oomph.
If we're comparing this to the heist, that's the one thing from the heist that he did do. He released that song about like homosexuality, right?
Yeah.
And he just fucking dove right in. He did something nobody's done before. He hit the nail right on the head. And in this one, he's aiming for the nail and he keeps hitting his fucking thumb.
I feel like he's aiming for a little away from the nail, just a little something, another place that's a little soft. And it's something that's gonna, maybe appeal to more people, a little more PC or something like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I just felt like it missed something to make it a really solid song, and I felt like that was just more of that honesty, that genuine kind of spirit. I didn't feel that come through the song.
I get that totally.
Let's move on.
Yep.
Number 7, St. Ides. And this is more of like a smooth, good, reflecting on your life kind of song, almost. It was an interesting beat. I didn't particularly like this song, but I liked some of the references.
I think the biggest problem I have with this was that other than, like, it had no real direction. Like you said, it was like reflecting on your life kind of song, but even that, what does that mean?
Yeah.
Like, it didn't directly say, hey, I'm here to reflect on my life. It just kind of threw a bunch of things at you when you had to really think about the song and sum it up on your own to decide what it was.
Yeah, it was just another song that's meant to sound good, and it was engineered well.
Yeah.
But really nothing beyond that. Yeah.
And next up, track number 8. This is cool because track number 8 is my favorite number, always has been. And one of my favorite rappers is on here. So we got Need to Know featuring Chance the Rapper. Oh my god. I like Chance's verse, but that's it.
Yeah. I mean, what this song is about, it's a pretty mellow song. And it's an introspective song, story of my life kind of thing. And they kind of talk about their come-ups in a way.
Yeah, and it's kind of the contrast between each come-up, which is interesting because it ties into the theme of the album. Like MACKLEMORES come up and like his opinion on it, and it kind of gives you contrast between somebody like Chance, who like his come-up story is fucking awesome, and his is still happening now. He only just had that thing with it. Like, he only just got to work with his biggest idol. That album, I don't even know if it's fully rolled out yet or what, but like. And yeah, it's cool. It
was a nice piano, nice sound, good beat. Overall, it's a feel-good kind of mellow song. But I still feel like it lacked like theatrics, is what I wrote. And what I mean by that is just something a little more for you to experience while you listen to the song. Maybe it's an excerpt from something. Maybe it's a conversation or something like that. Something else to set the tone, set the mood of that song, to sort of put you in a place where you really fully can see their lyrics on the wall, like it's almost like a movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where you can fully experience that, because I feel like it's one of those topics and one of those things where it totally enhances the experience.
Yeah, I totally get that. And there was one line that Chance said was like, "Black father, white liar," and then like that was a lot more to the line, but that was all I really took from it, just because that stuck out a lot. And I was like that. I thought Chance was flowing on this. Like Chance.
They both were. It's not. Yeah. Is it me? Yeah, it's me. Odd. Dance Off. It's a stupid dance song. Like, it's a really annoying dance song, meant for the underage clubs. And underage clubs are clubs that you have when you're 18, or maybe like high school dances.
I'd say 16.
Yeah.
It's like a 16-year-old high school dance.
Yeah. And this is what you're allowed to listen to because your teachers okayed it.
And this is the worst song now.
This one or the next one?
I think this one's the worst.
Let's move on to the next one.
Let's Eat, track number 10, featuring XP. And it's just about eating.
And diet struggles.
Yeah, so...
Which Macklemore's not even fat.
Yeah, he's not. If I can talk about the actual structure of this for a bit, try and get serious on a not serious song at all. The hook, awful. And the subject matter was silly, but it was so overdone that I couldn't even almost take it seriously or appreciate it whatsoever.
No offense to middle-aged women around the world.
Okay.
And this, okay, maybe not even middle-aged women. I'm talking maybe like 25 to 32-year-old single women. This is your song. Except there's a 27-year-old single man singing it.
He's actually, he's not. He's had the same girlfriend for a long time. He managed to get married now.
Okay, whatever. There's a 20-whatever-year-old white rapper singing this song for you. And he's singing about his struggles with food. And it's just, this may have been the dumbest song I've ever heard.
I think he got really stoned with his wife/fiance/girlfriend.
She wrote a song and he performed it?
No, they were really stoned and they wrote it together. And then she was like, hey, like, if you put this on your album, we can do butt stuff tonight. And he was like,
oh, God.
Okay. And then I think that's like that's my idea of what the song.
I hope he got butt stuff.
I hope he got butt stuff. I think like he's gonna need a few pick me ups after dropping this.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, it depends on what his target audience thinks about it.
Yeah. How about butt stuff?
No, about
the
song.
oh, okay, with the album. Okay.
I'm sure like what they think about butt stuff also influences their opinion of this album.
Yeah.
It definitely influenced mine.
Yeah.
Track number 11 was Bolo Tie. Nice flow on this song. Don't really know what the song's about.
Yeah, it was confusing.
I actually wrote that this song is pointless.
I wrote.
And I can't relate. And I felt that this song was neither good or bad.
I put boring and confusing, and
Yes,
that's all I've got.
neither sad or happy. It's just very indifferent.
It's very music-y. On to the next one.
It's very music-y, but not high or low.
No, like
It's
it was music, and that's the only definition I have for it.
Maybe I don't get it. Maybe it's something I'll get in 10 years.
I don't think either. Well, what does the title even mean? What the fuck is a bolo tie?
I don't
what a
understand
bow
in
tie
10
is.
years, bro. Maybe that's the full name of a bolo tie.
Maybe
Bow tie is a bolo tie.
maybe it's like a Kanye 2020 thing. Like Kanye becomes president, we find out what the song means.
Exactly.
Yeah, well, that's the way I guess.
Hey, don't you have to go catch the train?
Track number 12, The Train, featuring Carla Morrison.
Carla Morris.
Carla Morrison.
Morrison.
Like John Morrison, but Carla Morrison.
Carla.
Carla Morrison. I can't even remember this.
She's got a sexy voice.
She does.
She was singing in like Spanish.
Yeah, I thought the hook when she sang in a different language, be it Spanish or French or Taiwanese, it was good vocals and she's talented obviously, but I thought it was super out of place.
Super out of place. By this point in the album, you're like, I need something that's, banging. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
At this point, you need something that's got like some bass, that got some like.
I need white privilege too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but at this point in the album, you know what I mean? Like, you need something that's gonna hit. And all these songs have been like low piano, mellow songs that are just like drifting off into like Z's and shit. And I wasn't really feeling the song. How about yourself?
Exact same as you. I thought it was boring. I didn't think the first verse was too bad. I thought like the flow was there, like lyricism was there, but it was like, again, it was a song where there was just no clear point.
Yeah.
It was another confusing song, and then I was finally starting to get the gist of things, and then the hook was in a different language, and it really threw me off.
I mean, that was the sexiest part of the song.
It probably was, yeah, but like in context, it didn't make sense, personally.
No. Let's hit number 13. This is the last track on the album, and this one is called White Privilege.
White Privilege 2.
White Privilege 2.
Did you get the feature?
The feature, I did not.
Jamelia Woods.
Jamelia Woods.
Jamelia Woods.
Jamelia Woods?
Jamalia Woods.
Charmeleon.
Charmeleon.
Charmeleon Woods.
Charmeleon good.
Good news. White Privilege 2, and really he's just talking about his inner conflict he has about being caught in between black and white, right or wrong, just, unjust. We've got these Black Lives Matters situations going on. And he's basically struggling with the fact that he's white, but he supports Black Lives Matter.
Yeah.
But he doesn't want to offend people on that end of the spectrum by supporting them and also them noticing that he's white and saying this is not your place.
Yeah.
And he doesn't want to deal with the backlash he gets from his own community saying, why are you so PC? You're just sucking up to their side. Look at you, you're swallowing up their entire culture and now you're supporting their movement and everything. So he's kind of caught in between. I mean, at the same time, that is a white privilege kind of issue to have. Because it's like, I'm white, I don't know who to be nice to, white people or black people. It just comes it sounds a little silly if you break it down that way, but yeah, I mean, what do you think about it before I go on more and more?
I think from the technical side, the lyricism, the subject matter, the bars, phenomenal.
Tight.
Yeah,
Totally.
really good.
Yeah. Agreed.
The sampling was crazy. This is the first song and the second song on the album that really felt like it was a hip hop song.
Totally.
There's like skips within the samples and within the verses, really good. But from a subject matter point of view, I'm kind of on your side, but maybe it is because I am white. I kind of feel for the dude in a way, just because I think it is. Maybe you are right by saying that this is kind of a typical white person thing to say.
I'm not saying that it's a typical white person thing to say. It's just like it's a typical white problem.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like it is though.
It totally is, and I'm not taking it away
yeah.
from that. I'm just saying, like, once you break it down, that's all it is, and it's kind of takes away from how serious it is.
Mm.
You know, because at the end of the day, it's like he's not all talking about the issues themselves, because the issues are very serious and very important. You know, Black Lives Matter is a legitimate thing.
Yeah.
You know, that needs to be talked about. It's important that we discuss it and artists express themselves about it.
Mm.
But he's not just talking about that, he's talking about also himself and the internal struggle that he has. And not to take away from it, but it is a little funny, that's all. That, like, he's having that internal struggle.
Yeah.
It's just funny, not like, haha, that poor him, you know?
It's like, it's ironic.
It's a little ironic.
Yeah.
It's just,
I agree with that.
it's not a problem that you would think someone would have.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
I really like, this is the best song on the album. Like,
By far the best song.
Like, I might put this in my favorite playlist of mine.
Yeah, this is actually a really good song.
Mhm.
And this takes us back, and you were saying, what was that song that you're comparing it to, the one about gays?
Yeah, I can't remember what that's called, but he
Gay
talks about it. He
lesbian
talks about
community.
it on this stuff.
Yeah, and he also talks about how people come up to him and tell him how much they love his music. This is the only song I let my kids listen to, and middle-aged, and you're not for all that, you know, negativity, and you're all about positivity, you know, and it's just like, it all comes down at the end, for some people, race. It's like, you're white, you know, you can talk about all these things that I can relate to, but at the same time, that's like his gift and his curse, you know, and it's he doesn't know if that's a good thing for him or a bad thing for him. He's caught between that, and I think overall the topic is very controversial. It's not watered down at all. It's serious, and he did great commentary on that topic by coming at it from his angle.
Yeah.
So that was a great song. It does not belong in this album.
Yeah, I completely.
Because the rest of it was not controversial, the rest of it was not aggressive like this one was. It's not, yeah.
If he dropped this song in the 80s, when you released a single and you released a single like on a tape or on a vinyl, and you went to your local vinyl store, your local record store, and you bought that single on a tape, like you bought that EP, not EP, I guess it's not extended play obviously, but this would be like one of the coolest things of the year to drop, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But you put it on this album, and it really it's kind of a kick in the face, because it's like the opposite of potential.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it was surprising to hear this song on this album.
But it was dope.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you
Really,
listen to
yeah.
one song on this album, listen to White Privilege, and if you want to maybe laugh a little bit, listen to Let's Eat or even Dance Off.
Yeah, are we gonna end it there?
Yeah, let's end it there. Yeah.
Yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed. I've been Alex Robinson.
I'm Brian Budgeon. Remember to subscribe, like, and share. Enjoy, and check out our next few videos coming out. Alex is going to be going to England, So he won't be on maybe a video that I'm going to be on, but he may be producing from out there.
My girlfriend wants to be in a video.
Okay.
So sometime between the 18th and the 30th of March.
We should do like a couples thing. We just made plans.
We just made plans.
We just made a double date.
Okay, I'll see you guys later. This is GetMuchHigherPodcasts signing out.
Peace out.
Bye.
Or more kind of sarcastically. It sounds like at some points in this album. But yeah, whether you look at it that way or not, I mean, he's still coming at it with this idea of this unruly mess I've made. I think you should come out guns blazing.
Yeah, I guess that would be more like hip-hop-esque, right? Like, one thing about this album, we're saying, is that it doesn't really feel hip-hoppy. It's pop music left and right, and then we get a few songs that are like, oh, this is rap, this is dope, and this is good rap. Like, there are a few decent, good songs on here. Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome to Get Much Higher Podcast. I'm Alex Robinson.
I'm Brandon Budgeon.
And today we've got a bit of a different setup. This is the setup we use every day in the school at Banners Radio here. And we've got the camera set up behind us. And today we're doing another album review. And this one, I'm going to spoil it a little bit. I'm not too happy with this one.
The title says it all. This unruly mess I've made really is a little bit of a mess.
The title, before we get into the track by track, which we're getting back into, let's talk about the title for a bit. And in my opinion, this album,
2012, I think it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Macklemore had a huge commercial success at that time. Did it completely independent, you know, and you got to say, if somebody makes it that big independently, doesn't matter what kind of brand of music that they're making, the fact that they're being heard and played on the radio and they're getting radio spins as much as Macklemore was getting at that time, it's got to say something. And he's got something, in my opinion, to brag about there.
Yeah, yeah.
And then to sort of come on this album and come at the angle that I'm completely apologetic, whether he means that literally. It had its moments, absolutely.
Yeah, but for the most part, this is just pop music.
Yeah, this is a decent, average, mediocre pop album.
Yeah, and after the heist, the heist was pretty good. Like, it wasn't like your classic hip hop album. It was a Macklemore hip hop album, and like that kind of started its own lane, and that was an okay lane.
He has Schoolboy Q on the album.
Yeah, like that was good. I mean, he has KRS One.
White Walls was pretty dope.
Yeah, that was
pretty dope. That was some lowrider shit. But
yeah.
Should we get into this track by track, bro?
I'm not. You want to start it off for us?
Yeah, number one. This is a song called Light Tunnels.
The album has a lot of potential. The unruly mess I made.
The concept, yes.
Yeah, the concept of his rise to fame being a mess. You know, he was the heist dropped, and that was when he first made that switch from being a YouTube rapper to being a mainstream rapper. And that was a mess. He won album of the year. He didn't really deserve to. A lot of controversy there because obviously he's white, and well, not just him being white. There's a lot of things.
That's
the main thing.
It beat Good Kid, Mad City, which was the album of the year.
Yeah.
If you're looking at hip hop albums that had an impact in 2000.